Three, two, one, start. Well, hello, this is Jimmy with we'll call it the Jimmy's Silver Report for October 30th. It's, I guess, the end of the month or next day, too. What I have on the screen here, I guess we'll just take a quick look on the home page of FinViz. And we saw all the general markets, I guess, sell off, but really not that much. NASDAQ worse. And I don't really follow the general markets or trade them at all. Mostly interested in gold and silver and the gold and silver stocks. The next thing is the futures. This is basically the current futures. Excuse me, I've got this on an hourly. Let's see what happened on the daily. And we have on the bar charts, Bitcoin, Nikkei, NASDAQ bouncing back, I suppose, and we've got VIX, sugar, always look for silver, slowing down. The bonds and the currencies are all sort of flat right now. Next thing, the screener. Of course, you know my favorite screener on FinViz is the gold. I'm just hitting the G button, and the menu takes me right here to gold. Next thing, what's moving and what's not moving. So, see what went up. We had IDR, and I bought some of this down at around 30. It's doing okay. I really enjoy the stock. It's like a 80% move back to the new highs if it gets there. Armin, too small of a market cap, and I'm just not. Oh no, excuse me. I'm in also NFGC, which also made a move. I bought that this morning. So it's pretty promising that the gold stocks are going to try to turn up. They're all pretty good buys here. I traded out of my JNUG and my AGQ because they had just nice gains, and the day before all those gains evaporated. But today, overall, a good market for the precious metals. You can see these charts. We can go to the next page and see what the names are doing. These are all 2 and 1% gainers. Pretty interesting stuff, you know. I mean, this is one I own, Goro. I have it in a small account, and it went up to almost $1.20 at 73 now. And it looks like it's starting to sort of settle down on its down move. Next week, earnings of the bigs are being reported. I think I mentioned that yesterday in my talk there. So another quick look at the performance of these stocks. We can look at the performance by percentage, volatility, relative volume, and change. And then on a technical tab, what we have here is the key one is RSI. And so RSIs are illustrative of relative strength. And you can see these stocks here as I go down the thumbnails. They're all fairly strong. I like this one, Barrick, probably a really good play for a breakout. I think they reported earnings, but they're a big giant company. IAUX. These are all names that most that I've traded. EQX is said to have a pretty good value, and that one didn't correct too much. So the RSI strong ones and the RSI weak ones. So never mind BGL and NAM; those are no good companies. When I saw them come public, the stock went up like for a day or two, went up massively, and then they just took it all down. So definitely a rigged story there. Or royalties, 6.13 billion, 32 up to above 40. Caledonia Mining, 500 million. Vista Gold is 211 million. And this is an interesting play. I traded that a lot in 2011. Excuse the yawn. It's getting late. Our Gold, look, good little buy here for a royalty play. Same for Franco-Nevada. And so you can go to this page and type in gold and then the technical, and you can see the same information here. Under performance, I like to see, which ones are getting smacked the worst. And these three you want to forget. ODV is Osisko Development, 700 million, $3 stock. Looks like it could get to 4 if we get to new highs. I don't own it, and it probably doesn't have income. But Goro is interesting. A lot of people think that stock's going to be really good. So let's skip all this stuff and go to the Thinkorswim charts, TOS. And right here out of the box, we got silver trading at 48.30 something, 48.37. We ran up here, and I think that what happened here, I'll show you, I was buying, so, in here, I was able to really load up on some stuff. I rode it up in here, had great profits, I let it fall back, could have traded it, but I held them, and then I sold them up in here to see, just because. I wanted to book the profits and go about 3/4 cash, and I'm going to just sort of sit and wait. Silver has a target down here at 47.50. That's where my alerts are, down in here. The one thing that's problematic for silver is down here in the lower right corner, and this is a weekly chart of silver, but since there's all those drawings on there, I'm going to go to SLV, which I don't believe I draw much on. So there you have, a yellow target zone I had drawn. The weekly TSI is way up high. And we're only 2 weeks into the correction. So we want to be careful. And that's kind of why I have sort of a trading mentality. 3-month daily, the daily has crossed. You've got a gap in here. This is for SLV. And these were the few scary days that I think I threw up some stock here on this day. But also on this day, I also sold, pretty much got out of everything. And I was able to buy back, somewhere in here and get out in here, just in general. They think that the bounces are weak and that things could drop. So if we want to draw a quick little target, this one probably isn't too valid because we don't know if this high is going to be the last high of what would be a BC leg, which puts us down here for a target. Now that would be in a really, something real negative has to come about, but there's too much going for precious metals at this point in time. And let's look at big silver. This is the hourly chart. This is the volume profile. You can see how volume has been drawn to the midpoint of what is the point of control. If I add a little more time here, let's see, 184 days, you can see that the volume point of control is down here. So all through this zone, silver rallied on not so much volume, which makes me think that this is the disbelief section, because there's very little volume taking place while it went from, let's just say in here to, up in here, which is interesting because if this thing turns down and breaks this low, then we're going to be in this weak volume zone, which might lead to further sell-offs. My target's 44 down here for silver. And if I zoom in, let's take a look. This is the last two moves after selling out. I kind of waited for all this stuff to unwind. But look at this. This was just crazy movement, and then boom, back down. Now you can see here, I've got all kinds of targets down here that I've placed, 45, 2 alerts, right in here. The key question now is this going to just test down here and then move up more? I kind of think so, because the 4-hour true strength index, let me bring that up for you. It's always a good one. And this is my marked up chart. So we got the 1-hour true strength index, made an, kind of I guess you'd say an ABC in certain parlance. I would want to wait till this came back down. It does oscillate a little bit more. And here tonight, silver's down 0.6, 48.32. This is where it gets tricky with the true strength index, if any of you are using it. So I want to look at a 2-hour, 30 days, look at a 2-hour chart and zoom in. The 2 hours come off the bottom. Turn the volume off. Let's see, overlap volume. Okay, so here's your 2-hour. It tried to cross up during this sideways sort of bounce, and then it gave it up, crossed down, and put in a low. It's now crossed up, made one hump and another hump, which, like I say, I'd want to wait for that to come down before I start buying. And the 1-hour here again looks kind of toppy. If this were an uptrend and my 1-hour was doing this, I'd be a little more comfortable, but this is a downtrend. And then the 4-hour is crossing up, and this is the one that is the strongest indicator for an up move. What another piece of this argues for a pullback in here down to this level here, 46.90, and that would complete what would be a head and shoulders pattern potentially. I mean, it almost still looks like a head and shoulders. So if we look closely at this is a 4-hour chart again. In other words, each bar is 4 hours. The volume's weak, and 30 days, 4 hours. Where is that? Am I on 30 days, 4 hours? I guess I might be. Let's do 180 day, 4 hours. So here again is a very rich signal matching these signals down here. And a lot of people are saying things are going to go back up in silver. I have targets here up higher. You can look at this whole structure here as an ABC, which is this chart over here. I'm going to activate it right here, this blue stuff. And we have a target up at 58 based on this A, this B, and this C. Next, A, B, and C gives out this target here, 58.71. So I'm trying to catch the better part of any move between here and there on using AGQ, which is a double leveraged silver ETF. And if you don't know what you're doing with these guys, may seem easy, but it's not. Okay, let's see. I'm going to bring this back down here so you can see it a little more exaggerated. And this chart here, this gives the studies of the volume right here when you zoom in closer. Now, one of the other things that I want to recommend, make sure you know on these true strength indexes, they can do a kiss and go, which means they can wiggle around and then continue their move downwards. There was a pretty good example of this during the downtrend on silver, but I got to go out like 360 days. And that's right here. These two tops, you know, you could have sold those and probably missed out or not necessarily gotten back in. But you missed this whole move here because the true strength index was actually what seems to be foretelling this decline. So that's from here to here. And so the true strength index faded this move up and moved below price and just got itself in some real trouble in the silver market. Okay, that is about it. I don't know what else to say other than have a good day, and I hope you're having a good evening. Take care. It's Jimmy. If you want to call me, my number is 907-830-8198. Happy to share more privately if you'd like.